Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me today. It's a cold one here today in Missouri, USA. I don't like the winter too much, but it makes spring be even nicer when it finally gets here. And the days are getting longer every day now here, so I am looking forward to summer again. Okay, today's topic is focus. What is your focus? What are you focusing on? Think about that for a minute. What is the main focus of your life? Do you know? Or do you just get up in the morning and get on the Xbox or get on the computer and look at dating sites? Is the main focus of your life chasing women? Well, whatever you're chasing is running away from you. The significance of feeling like you're chasing something or looking for something means that you don't have it. Okay? If the focus of your life is women, then you will be focusing on finding women. You need to have the focus of your life to be on your mission, your purpose, your goals, your vision as a man. As a man, that needs to be the main focus of your life. If you get to where you're focusing too much on a woman, she won't like that, okay? Or if you get to focusing too much on chasing women, they can feel that. Women are more in touch with their intuition than men are. Men have the same intuition, but rarely are in touch with it or rarely make use of it. We call it our gut. It's more of a manly term. How do you feel about it in your gut? What do you sense? One of the guys I listen to sometimes, Corey Wayne, says your spidey senses. We all know when something's not right. But if you got your focus so much on your woman and she is all you think about and you want her and you want to make her happy and etc., you will overlook these red flags or these sensations or these gut feelings that maybe something isn't right. That's why it's important to have your focus on something else. And then when you get these intuitive nudges, she is not so important to you that you ignore them. You take note of it. You become more aware. You watch to see what is going on when you are around her. But in the other times, you keep your focus on your goals, your mission, your purpose. Because here's the deal. If you have to walk away from her or she walks away from you or whatever, your life goes on. Yeah, you may be a little upset, you may be a little down, but she hasn't become your God, so to speak, your reason for living. Like all these songs. I was listening to some songs from the 80s and 90s last couple weeks ago, and I was amazed at how many of these songs are some guy pining or crying about some woman that left him. I can't live without your love. I want to know what love is. Like she's going to show him that, and like he can't make it without her love. That was the most important thing in his life. Now, granted, these songs are popular because many men have felt that way, including myself, because I got too wrapped up in a woman. It usually happens without you even realizing it. And then one day, all of a sudden, you notice that all you think about is your girlfriend or your wife or whatever it happens to be. Bad place to be, because they can feel that. And if they think that if they left you, that you would fall apart, well, guess what? Do they want to stay with you? No, because they have kids with you, or they want to have kids with you, or they're thinking about having kids with you, and they got to know. Now, this isn't something that they think about consciously, but it's evolutionary programming. They got to know that if something happens to them, that you can go on and raise those kids. Whenever I was with a woman for a long time and she knew that I could walk away from her, actually I had a couple of them say to me, well, if I died, you wouldn't care, you would just go on. And I would say, no, I would care, but of course I would go on. And that's the way I felt about it. Of course I didn't want anything to happen to them, but if it did, I knew I would be okay. Now, when I got to the point where if something happened to them, that I felt so deeply for them that if they did die or something happened, I knew I would make it, but it would really be devastating for me. That's when they start losing respect for you. They can feel that. You should never get into a position where you think if your woman passes on or she dies or she leaves you that you don't know how you would make it, or I can't live without your love, or you're my reason for living, or any number of phrases they use in these these songs about these guys who just, their whole focus of life is on their girlfriend. I mean, it's a bad place to be. Now, in my last relationship, I got a little too focused on the girl, but I ended up walking away from her because she wasn't treating me with the respect and the value I deserved. But it taught me something about myself. It taught me that, hey, you know what? I deserve better than that, and I value myself enough that I am walking away. And from walking away from that relationship, it actually improved my life, because by recognizing that I was not being valued or respected, that maybe I wasn't respecting or valuing myself enough. So after I left, actually, my life exploded into another realm of existence. I wrote a book, finished that, got it published. I created two more businesses. I started this two more businesses. I started this YouTube channel, and I'm doing things today that I wasn't doing before I met her. Okay, because she reflected back to me that I was not really valuing myself or giving myself the value that I deserved or that I really had. And I will say the same thing to you too. If anyone is treating you disrespectful, whether it be your woman or a friend or your parents or anyone, and they are not valuing you, then you have first devalued yourself. You are not giving yourself enough value. You are not seeing the value in yourself, because we all have tremendous value and potential. But until we first recognize it in ourselves, it will never be reflected back to us from people in our world. And as I say all the time, people in our world reflect back to us how we really feel and what we really think about ourselves. It's not always bad. It's not always through disrespect or devaluing or treating you badly or criticizing you. Many times, if you see someone that you admire and they have a trait that you admire, that you think about something someone has did throughout history, and you get those tingles, those electric feelings, you have that same trait within you. You just haven't developed it yet. You just haven't recognized it yet. That's why people watch sports sometimes, and they have sports heroes, because they admire these people because they have that same thing in them. They couldn't see it unless they had it within them. Now, most people aren't living, expressing the value that they have. So thus they watch it on TV and other people, and they live vicariously through those people. But they too could express the value in their lives through themselves if they would just step through the fear. That is what stops them, the fear of failure, or sometimes maybe even the fear of success. I know when I first started boxing as an amateur, I turned pro later, which wasn't very frightening for me, but I knew some guys that wouldn't turn pro. They were afraid to turn pro. Fear of failure. Okay, when I first started, I won my first 3 fights, I think. Okay, and then it became more pressure on me, or I felt more pressure to win, because once you start winning, it's like if you lose, people are like, what happened to you? It's like when I used to race. I did 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons. When I would win a race, or 2 or 3 in a row, and then if I got second, like on the 4th race, they would act like, what happened to you? As where if you got second place the first race you run, oh, that was great. But once you win, once you're number one, so to speak, when you come in number 2, people ask, what happened to you? It's like you're not good enough anymore. Once you win, you have to continue to win, at least to satisfy the ego. Now, no one wins all the time. Everybody fails. If you do it long enough, everyone will fail. I was a professional boxer. I turned pro. I'm undefeated as a pro. I didn't have that many pro fights. So, but if I continued to fight, eventually I would lose. It's just the way it is. There is always someone who is better than you, or we'll say more skilled than you. I don't like to use the word better, as I have said before, because it deems you as less than or not good enough. Let's say more. There's always someone that has more skill than you, but you can always develop more skill too. You can always be more than what you are today. You are enough today. You are perfect as you are today, but yet you can develop more. You can become more. You can express more. You can expand The universe is constantly in a state of expansion. You are expanding, and you should be expanding. If you're not, you're like the glass of water that sits on the table. If nothing goes out of it and nothing goes into it, it becomes stagnant. And this is what happens to many people, including myself, if I don't continue to expand and to press forward through those barriers of fear. Everything you desire is on the other side of fear. And it's not the great fears, the giant fears. You must first defeat the small fears in your life. Excuse me, the small fears in your life, which may be picking up the phone and making a phone call to an old friend. You have an intuitive nudge to call that person. You really don't know why, but it just came to your mind. I had an intuitive nudge just the last few days to send a part of a rough draft of my book to this girl I met that lives in another town. I don't know why. I just was supposed to do it. Somehow or another, that is connected to me achieving my goals, my desires, my mission, my purpose. I don't know how. I may never know how. Then again, I may be able to look back in the past, in the future. In my future, I may be able to look back and see. Was it Steve Jobs, I think, that said, you can't connect the dots moving forward. You have to look back. You can only connect the dots looking back. Okay, when you're moving through it and when you're moving in the direction of your vision and your goals, you will have bridges of incidences, as they call them. Things will happen. You will get nudges and intuitive guidance to do things, to call people, to talk to people, to take actions, which at the time make no sense. But you can't see the big picture. That also is the importance of believing in a higher power, a higher self, the light, divinity, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, whatever name you choose to use for your God or higher self or divinity, or the name doesn't really matter. I mean, if it matters to you in your religion, that's fine. Your belief, that's great. I have no qualms with religions. They all have very good aspects to them. It's only man's interpretation, I believe, of the teachings of the original masters that have caused us problems in life. But that's a whole nother subject. Back to the point of your focus. So keep your focus on your goals, your mission, your purpose, and things will happen and occur to give you bridges, to help you cross those bridges to get closer to your destination, to your purpose, to help you acquire the needed tools. I wanted to say herramientas. I wanted to speak Spanish for some reason. The tools you need to help you to reach that. But first, you have to have a goal. You have to have a vision. Write it down. Look at it every day. Feel what it would be like to be there, to have that, to be doing that. Whatever it is, you have to have purpose in your life. And as I said at the beginning, it can't be to have a woman. I guess it can be, but it's really a dangerous purpose to have, just to have a woman. Not to have a family and kids, that's different. But never put your focus not just on a woman, but on another person. Some people say women are dream killers. Women aren't dream killers. It's your attachment to the relationship you want to have with them that kills your dream. No one can kill your dream but yourself. Only you can allow your dream to die. Only you can neglect to feed your dream, to visualize your dream, to project your dream onto the screen of space in your future. Only you can achieve it, and only you can lose it or destroy it. It's up to you. So, I hope you've enjoyed this today, and I hope it has been of help to you. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this with a friend. And if you'd like to get my help personally, you can contact me at marksinspirationalguidance@gmail.com. Have a great day. Thanks for subscribing. See you later.